I have to say, what kind of education station would this be, especially since I went to Central for undergrad and I'm going back for more classes and some certification, if I didn't mention the CCSU lockdown of Monday. And I'm gonna take this off, but I borrowed my dad's CCSU coat. Let's see. Oh, I guess it doesn't have anything on the back. But on the inside, it says Central Connecticut. So there's that. What happened is a student forgot to take off his costume, or maybe forgot's not the right word. He claims that not all of it would fit into his backpack. I'm sorry, but your mask will fit into your backpack, and if you just take off the mask, maybe nobody would react. But because people couldn't see your face and they didn't know who the masked gunman was, that created alarm, including the ideas of Sandy Hook and other things. In my files, I have the Virginia Tech shooting and all of the articles from the Hartford Courant, USA Today on that. So if he just took off his mask, people would be like, okay, it's a costume. But it was Monday and Halloween was Thursday. Thirsty Thursday, college kids say. So there's that. I really like the pictures that they used in the article, because at the beginning it says lockdown at Central. It happened at noon. At 12:30, the state police sent 2 SWAT teams. At 2 p.m., Central tweeted that there was a report of a suspicious man. 2:30, the man in orange shirt and camouflage pants was led away in handcuffs, and by 3:15, the lockdown was lifted. I was at work until 1:30, but I got all of the calls and voicemails that the security system does.
I hope you check your phone before you start driving to Central. It is on lockdown right now. All the buildings are shut down, so I don't know. You better check before you head there. It's 12:30, and it went into lockdown about noon. There's supposedly a guy with a gunman walking around, and they're trying to catch him. Okay, do not go to Central until you check to see what the status is, or I update you somehow regarding the situation. Love you. Bye.
Otsky from Derek Pierce. Campus emergency. Remain inside buildings. Stay in place. Stay away from windows. Police are on the scene. Goodbye. From Derek Pierce. Central Connecticut State University announces that a suspect has been taken into custody. The campus is still advised to remain sheltered in place until notified. All classes and events have been canceled for the rest of today.
Bus didn't
Goodbye.
say anything about this outfit. Did he not wear his mask on the bus? Is that the issue? Or have they seen guns and swords so often that they've become desensitized to it? Something's up here. Isn't that new policy, if you say something, say something? When I was an undergrad, during this time of the year, I met my ex and we spent 5 years together. And Halloween parties is a way of life for college kids. But for him to continue to wear this costume 4 days later or 5 days later really says something about, I don't know, his ability to compartmentalize. Halloween Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, good. Halloween Monday after it, no, not good. And I like that people put in an editorial that it could have ended badly. It could have gone as far as that student still being outside of the building wearing his costume and having the police think he's violent, and instead of trying to talk him down, go in guns blazing. So I agree that it could have gone badly. Some of my classmates talked about this on Wednesday and decided that it was kind of funny because they found out that this student got all of those emergency calls like you heard and thought there was a real threat. He didn't know he was it. The article states that his friends started calling him and said, maybe it's your costume. Lastly, I've included an article from the same day's paper, from the same day's events in New Jersey. The shooter, who basically went in shooting inanimate objects to vent some steam before he knew that he was going to commit suicide. And this is a serious case. This is a real gun, it's a real intention, and it's real follow through. He didn't hurt anyone. There could have been ricochet, but to have a serious event so closely tied with a non-serious event really makes you wonder what's going on. I decided to do a walkabout of the school campus to show you where things are. Starting on your right is the student center. In the blue area is where everybody likes to hang out. They have video games, billiards, and that sort of thing. There's a lot of windows. That gray, brown, dark brown area is quiet study area. There's computers available, desks, and that sort of thing. And further down is more social area, room to talk, the mail area, and where you get food at Devil's Den. The center is where all the different activities happen, especially when free food comes out and you don't need to swipe your campus blue chip card. Right in front of you is Memorial Hall. That's where you'll get all of your meals. And again, a lot of windows, 2 stories full of windows. Not the safest place to be during a crisis. I'm sure they'd let some students into the kitchen, but again, not very safe there with chemicals, with hot food, and that sort of thing. I worked in Memorial Hall for 4 years. Downstairs they do a lot of catering, and while I'm walking through, the building on the left is an academic building, Vance Academic Center. A lot of computer sciences classes are taught there. I apologize to all the students that I caught in this video. It was not an intention, and I tried not to get any faces. Further up, you can see Seth North, another dorm, and James Hall's the tallest. As I turn, you can see the windows a little bit better. And as I'm walking up, there's the bulletin board where various notifications are posted, and students can post for things as well. The building in front used to be a high school, but it still has its lockers. I took 1 education class, or maybe 2, in my undergraduate work. That building there is the computer lab. There's African Studies down below, and a few other things. I love the scenery. straight through this way is fiscal affairs. So, more official. If I were to pan the camera to the left, you'd see more dormitories. Behind one building lies James Hall, where the incident was, and Barrows. To the left up here is more academic buildings. Elliot Willard, DiLoretto. Up above is Davidson. That's where your administrative building is. Registration, financial aid, bursars. That was the computer lab entrance. And Marcus White.